Over the past 2 weeks, I have been shooting a pre-production trailer for an upcoming project. As a DOP, directing isn't something I've touched down into much. So join me as I dive into this project headfirst. Skipping all the pre-production planning and storyboarding and diving straight into the pre-shoot. Before filming the first day with the actual talent, I took the time to plan out the scenes, lighting and camera movements, running all the cables and mounting the lights. By doing this, it saved me a lot of time on the actual day of production. Mounting the lights to the side alley took a little over an hour, along with zip tying the cables along the fence and deciding not to use the fog machine in the end. Those lights were left there through the night, ready for the shoot the following day. Next was onto the kitchen. Our ceiling lights had mismatched bulbs with the colour temperatures being all over the place. So swapping them out for identical lights was my first step. I then pulled the camera out to see what the shot looked like, deciding to change up the angle entirely and instead shoot on the other side of the kitchen as it looked a lot less distracting and much cleaner. I then blasted a 1K through the door to add a splash of colour to the background and moved the lighting around a bit to see what looked best. Now, I would never put my friends or even talent through anything I wouldn't do myself, and therefore I had to taste test a mixture of fake blood and water I concocted up. Now, it wasn't the best, salty is the only way I could really describe it, but Brad had other opinions.
How's it tasting, sorry?
Fucking shot. Well, I shall be far for the next one, I don't know that.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
Starting off in the kitchen is where day one began, as we still had some daylight left. It went remarkably well, though a lot of cleanup was required. We then headed up to Subway and into the forest. I spotted Brad as he hopped onto the camera, and that was that. There wasn't much to film up in the forest, nor in the subway. 5 to 10 minutes max and we was out of there. Shooting the alley scene was next. And yeah, we had to move that 1K because it was in this shot the entire time. But I think I might have miscommunicated a key asset to the talent.
Oh, ideally you got up until there, or I can pull the gun out and shoot it.
You don't shoot him, you just pull it out. So
what was that?
about betrayal. Nevertheless, we resolved that fairly quickly. Then came the fight scene. Now, I had never written one before, so while putting the storyboard together, I watched a crash course on YouTube. We managed to shoot it in just over an hour, almost within the time I had planned. It was somewhat funny to see the toy gun slowly falling apart as we progressed on to the next take.
Action. Very smart, are ya?
Gun go.
I'm gonna put a bit of blood.
Please say that worked. You want to talk?
That's good, that was...
By the end of this scene, there wasn't much left of it. Just as sound as plastic falling off it, and it actually become a lethal weapon, managing to draw some real blood. Sorry, Jaden.
I'm going all day.
Cut man down in that wank gun.
He's suing me.
No risk assessment done. Fucking sue him.
Prepping for the second day of filming didn't take as long as the first. As soon as the props arrived, I got to work taking it apart. Seriously, this was an important step, as you'll soon find out later. I took the time to carefully remove all the metal from the centre of the table. Brackets, nails and handles all had to be removed. I'd weaken the table further by removing the centre supports, as the idea was to have the table held together with tape when shooting, allowing it an easy path for it to break where I needed it to. I had shortened the legs and scored brake paths to ensure it would break in exactly the right spots, making this table safe and ensuring it would break when it needed to break was the main objective. On the second day of filming, there isn't too much to show as it all took place in the same studio locations. There was a few instances where the breakaway table almost broke when it wasn't ready to, and a lot of mess was generated through throwing all the prop money at, well, me. With plenty of time left ahead of us, we was on schedule, with only one shot left to film. After setting up the cameras, we was about to do a run through of the final scene before we hit record. And then this happened.
No. He's not arrested though, so we're gonna have to... fuck are we gonna do?
Yeah, evacuated and asked to leave the studio. We had to leave the table behind, along with the final scene of the trailer. So we just grabbed lunch in our local Wetherspoons and hoped the table would remain there for us to finish off the shoot. We went back to the studio the next day for no more than an hour to finish off what we started. All that was left to do was to throw Billy through this thing, and after some rehearsals, we hit record.
Ready?
Whenever you're ready. Billy is our go-to stunt actor, and that was it. We was done. All that was needed to be filmed was done, and we could move on to the post-production aspect of this project.
Have you popped yours? Come on,
For directing my first trailer / anything, I think it went really well. A 2-day shoot for a 2-minute video, lots of planning and pre-production, storyboarding, and trying to arrange everything took a very long time. But I think we can all agree the outcome is quite remarkable. Now, just before this video ends, I just want to say a massive thank you to the team that helped me out and put this together. Billy Bickerstaff as lead talent and assistant camera op, Brad Davis as the second day talent and an additional assistant camera op, and Jaden Stokes for being the villain in this project and helping out in every way that he did. If you want to see the trailer, it's linked on screen, and I'll see you in the next video.